man. Shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation.
DBN Nation, of course. Support DBN Nation. You hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's Terrence Crawford, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
Whatever situation with the franchise, however that happened, it's okay. I'm world champion, and I'm willing to fight anybody. And if anybody in the top 15, I don't want to hear about anybody in any further than that. If they have something to say, then we can make the fight happen. If not, then they can shut their mouth.
I know Lomachenko didn't ask to be a WBC franchise champion.
He did.
He did. How do you feel about that?
Lomachenko and his team did. They asked to become the franchise. As you guys saw, that Carm already even said that they're happy about him becoming a franchise. They wanted it to happen, and it's not that many coincidences in the world. He obviously knew that if it didn't happen like that, I would be his mandatory, and he would have to come see me.
If you know, you know. Now, Devin Haney came out and let everyone know it was Vasyl Lomachenko himself who requested to be the French fries champion by the WBC to live up to the NO-Machenko name, because he wants no smoke with Devin Haney. Now, the reporter that asked Devin Haney the question, they basically phrased the question to give Vasyl Lomachenko a pass for avoiding Devin Haney by stating and making it seem like it was Bob Arum and Top Rank who made that decision, blaming it on them and not Vasyl Lomachenko, and wanting to give Vasyl Lomachenko the pass. However, Devin Haney basically countered that and told him that it was actually Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, as a reporter, you got to do your job. And that's what's wrong with the sport of boxing, is when reporters and experts and old media try to help these fighters on the hope list to maneuver and not having the best fight in the best. That's why the sport is not growing like it's supposed to, because we're not seeing the fights that the fans are supposed to be getting. And that's the best versus the best, like in every sport. Because we have reporters and old media who try to cover up for these fighters on the hope list that keep maneuvering from fighters from the coincidental list. I mean, you have so many people that's so weak-minded that want to criticize every fighter and act like, hey, I'm being fair. I'm not riding the wave for one fighter. So instead of spitting the truth, they try to be objective. But the funny part is they doing that because they want to show, hey, I'm not being biased. I'm actually criticizing all these fighters. I'm actually asking the tough questions to all these fighters. But not every fighter in boxing is getting overpraised like a Lomachenko or a Gennady Golovkin. So you got to hold these fighters accountable and hold them to the hype. And if they can't live up to the hype, you got to state what it is. Instead of falling for the confusion and confusing the fans even more with this French fries title and try to cover up for a guy like Lomachenko. And these be the same people that claim they being fair, they being objective. There's no double standards in the sport. However, they get caught being biased toward a fighter, trying to cover up for him. Like I said, at the end of the day, we already have too much confusion going on in the sport of boxing, so don't add to it as a reporter. If it's already foggy out there, don't blow more smoke to the air. Get a vacuum and try to clear things up. So if you have a mic in your hand and instead of asking the tough questions, you try to cover up for a fighter, then you're doing the sport of boxing a disservice. And that goes to all media members, period. All you have to do is spit the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. That being said, Devin Haney's father got informed that the WBC stated the reason why they gave NO-Machenko the French fries title is because they didn't want the same thing to happen to Devin Haney that happened to Canelo Alvarez, implying that the reason why Canelo Alvarez lost every single round is because he was young and unexperienced. However, if you reverse the roles and Floyd Money May is actually Pretty Boy Floyd at 22 years old at his natural weight class, and Canelo Alvarez is moving up 5 weight divisions and he's 36-37, then Floyd Mayweather wouldn't just beat him every single round. He would have knocked him out. So if you put it that way, it's going to make Canelo Alvarez look even worse. So it ain't no excuse to be made. When Floyd Mayweather was told he's ducking Canelo Alvarez, and keep in mind, Canelo was a unified champion at the time, and what Floyd Mayweather do? He fought Canelo Alvarez right away. However, Vasyl NO-Machenko, when he have a Corolla as a mandatory, best believe he's gonna fight his mandatory. And you know there's a lot of fishy things going on when a guy like Corolla becomes a mandatory after losing twice to Linares, and obviously Lomachenko came and beat Linares, and some way somehow Corolla out of nowhere get elevated to a mandatory position to be a showcase fight for Lomachenko, making Lomachenko look like a Mike Tyson with his power when he's just a volume puncher. That being said, they try to act like they're protecting Devin Haney because obviously Canelo Alvarez situation, they stated that Canelo, he ain't been the same since. People look at him different because of that Floyd Mayweather loss. Well, that's credit to Floyd. And Canelo Alvarez was ready by then. He stated he was born ready. Meanwhile, we got Devin Haney. Even though people want to claim that is a high-risk, low-reward fight for Lomachenko, but that's absolutely not true because it's a big fight also, just as big as the Lopez fight. And we all know Vasyl Lomachenko claimed that his dream match is with a Floyd Money May. However, we don't believe you. You need more people, because if it was your dream match, then you would have fought a green version of a Devin Haney, a Floyd Mayweather prodigy. You wouldn't avoid that fight. And you won't let him bully you in the media without responding at all. However, you're so quick to respond to Tank Davis, calling him the pound-for-pound king on Twitter. So if Vasyl Lomachenko is going to have a stay busy fight and he wants to be undisputed at 135 like Terrence Crawford was at 140, then why are you going to vacate a belt like Riddick Bowe back in the day just to avoid a fighter like Devin Haney? Keep in mind, if he beats a Devin Haney while he's green, that's the easiest version to beat. Meanwhile, in the future, that win is going to look that much better because Devin Haney is going to go out and do great things. So no matter what he does, the better he looks, the more credit you get. However, Vasyl Lomachenko don't even have confidence in himself because he even turned down a fight with Manny Pacquiao, a 40 version of Manny Pacquiao, even though he claims he want to be just as great as a Manny Pacquiao. So all these media members that try to cover up for Vasyl Lomachenko, y'all could cover up for him. However, the truth will eventually come out. And I find it funny, all these double standards in the sport, because they claim Canelo Alvarez was too young. That's why he lost to Floyd in that fashion. And with that same breath, they want to cover up for Vasyl Lomachenko for ducking Devin Haney because he's too young. That don't even make sense. That don't even add up. However, at the end of the day, we know what time it is. Vasyl Lomachenko been strategic and been maneuvering, fighting fighters the likes of Martinez, Mikey Garcia leftovers, avoiding a Mikey Garcia fight, a Manny Pacquiao fight, a Terrence Crawford fight, and now a Devin Haney fight. So who is you going to fight? Another Corolla? And they want to claim Vasyl Lomachenko is pound for pound number one. If he is, then hold him to it. Because I know Floyd Mayweather, outside looking in, he thinking to himself, I wish I had that luxury to fight fighters like Corolla as a showcase fight, because ain't no such thing as a showcase fight when you pound for pound number one. We all know it's Terrence Crawford. However, I believe Lomachenko on the top 5 at least, top 3 maybe. That being said, if that's the case, Vasyl Lomachenko has to fight fighters at least on the top 5 in his division. And if there's nobody available, look up to the division above like 140 and fight the number 1 fighter there like Josh Taylor. because all these fights are makeable. However, Vasyl Lomachenko is not having a hard time finding opponents. Matter of fact, he's being hunted. He's not hunting nobody. He's being hunted by Manny Pacquiao himself. I mean, if you turn down a Manny Pacquiao fight, that should tell you everything you need to know, because everybody chases a Manny Pacquiao fight, and Vasyl Lomachenko is turning that down. And that should tell you everything you need to know about Vasyl Lomachenko. So he obviously turned down the Manny fight. He wasn't ready for a Mikey Garcia fight at the time. He didn't want to fight Crawford. He don't want to fight Josh Taylor at 140 and move up, because he said that's too big for him. He don't want to fight his mandatory Devin Haney. Gave up the belt like Riddick Bowe when he got stripped of the belt, and he threw it to the trash when he didn't want to fight Lennox Lewis. He did the same thing. So the $1 million question is, who's next that Lomachenko is going to maneuver from? I mean, to win a French fries title when you just won the title, not by beating a champion, however, by fighting a guy that's ranked number 5 in the division who already lost to Linares, or a guy that Lomachenko already defeated. So how is a 2-time world champion fighting for a vacant belt against a fighter that's ranked number 5 in the division, when it was supposed to be a belt that Luke Campbell versus Devin Haney was supposed to fight for? That being said, they gave him that opportunity, just like they gave him an opportunity against Salido, and he failed his second fight. And for some reason, some way, somehow, they granted him another title shot against Gary Russell for a vacant belt right away when he hadn't proved a thing at the time. So that being said, to make matter worse, the WBC has a rule: if you fight for a vacant belt, you have to defend it against 2 mandatories to prove that you are a real champion. They did that to Charlo, Porter, and many more. However, if you're a fighter from the Hope list, you don't have to do a damn thing. Even if you win a vacant belt, you never have to defend it against your mandatories. Matter of fact, they're going to give you a French fries title that you could win, but you can't lose. So what's the purpose of it? And I'm going to tell you why they got this franchise title going on. The reason for the franchise title is to grant their favorite fighters titles that they can't lose. And the only way for you to win it is to be a fighter from the Hope list. And the only way for you to get this title is to have a mandatory from the coincidental list. And that's a Charlo and a Devin Haney against a Canelo and a Lomachenko. Even a blind man could see this. Even Stevie Wonder is wondering what's going on. Meanwhile, we have a lot of reporters acting like they don't know what's going on, trying to cover up for Vasyl Lomachenko. So that being said, no matter what you do, the truth will eventually come out. Now, I dropped Split Decision episode 6, so be on the lookout for the cookout. We back on the map, so check that out. And for the people that say whatever, calling me all type of name, at the end of the day, y'all could call me all type of names. However, I don't hear nobody pointing out anything I said that's wrong. Everything that I stated was facts to support my opinion. Meanwhile, all y'all saying is cursing me out because y'all hating that I'm spitting the truth. Y'all allergic to it. The truth hurts. Meanwhile, like I told y'all, the whole recipe already. If you embrace the truth, it will set you free. So if you don't got nothing to counter what I'm saying, then you making me undefeated like Floyd on my show, Split Decision. I don't hear nothing clever that y'all be saying. The only thing y'all saying is obviously cursing me out, and I got thick skin. That's not gonna bother me. Obviously, I'm expecting that reaction, because if I'm saying anything incorrect, somebody would have been able to point it out, right? But at the end of the day, you know I make no mistakes offensively and defensively. Like I said, I'm being over here undefeated on Split Decision, and no one have been able to point out anything that I said that's incorrect. So, like I said before, time and time again, if you hate the truth, then the truth is gonna hurt. However, if you embrace it, it will set you free. And that's a quote by Dante. So subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual fans or old media. Follow Lunatoon Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. Follow me at IKTV. All these links will be in the description box below. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live and to be continued on the next episode of IKTV. Peace, and we outie.